Everybody that's listening, that's looking, like if you got any comments about this show, like you got any feelings, just hit us up on Unified Radio on all major social media platforms, on unifiedradio.tv, the website. We'd love to hear from y'all, man. I'm telling you, like, we want to be able to interact with y'all, get y'all feelings on a lot of these topics, a lot of these shows, because a lot of people that watch us and view us, they hit us up individually in our inboxes. We do get feedback, so we want to hear back from everybody.
Click on Zombie Apocalypse.
Mic check, 1 2. What is this? You're now tuned into Imperfect Sense right here on Unified Radio.tv. I go by the name of Eric E. Mr. Dawson, whatever you call me. I beg of you, please do not call me a fucking midget. To the left of me, I got the bully. Bully, Conway. You know what I mean? Bully in the streets, ladies at home. Call me bitch. Call me bitch. That's what the ladies at home call them. To the right of me, I got the fitness guru Flesh with me. Yell at him, Flesh. You dig?
Y'all get fresh back from that St. Martin.
Yeah. That was hey, look, that looked very relaxing out there in them blue
came
waters,
back a little darker too.
Facts. Got a little tan out there. Shout out to Andy. Andy, let him know you here, Andy.
Yeah.
Uncle B.
Trying to figure out why he had his mask off the whole time for the last 2 hours. Now he put his mask on. Like, what are you doing now? Like, turn into a fucking ninja when the camera start rolling. Now he'll just throw his mask on like something. If he got the nasty 19, he done already got it.
We already recorded
now, man. But shout out to everybody that's tuned in to us right here on Imperfect Sense, man. If this is your first time listening or viewing us, like, look, man, we cut up. You got 4 heterosexual brothers, man. We feel like we the last of a dying breed. We come talk our shit from all aspects of life. You know what I mean? We all have our own different opinions, own different whatever it is that we do what we do. That's why this is called Imperfect Sense, because what makes perfect sense to us may not make perfect sense to you. And before we get this shit started, man, like, let me go ahead and give a couple rest in pieces real quick. Shout out to Prince Monkey D family. You know what I mean? 1/3 of the Fat Boys. You know what I mean? He died a couple days ago. And Baltimore club legend, like everybody across the country, if you know this record, man, and you know, watch out for the big girls. We know what it is. Yeah. You know, the homie Baltimore legend, Jimmy Jones, not Jim Jones the rapper, Jimmy Jones. You know what I mean? The original Jimmy Jones.
That's his real
name. You know what I'm saying? He succumbed to his illness this week. So shout outs to his family and all the DJ community. Sending our condolences, as well as shout out to everybody in Texas going through that bullshit, man. Like, we sending y'all prayers and love. Fuck Ted Cruz. Let's just put that out there. Fuck that. Well, go ahead. Tell him.
My nigga Ted.
They ain't shit, nigga. He's trolling right now. He's trolling. And what was the man that quit too? What was his name?
Oh, dickhead.
Yeah, that's what we calling him.
Fuck boy.
Dickhead, man. That's what politicians do, man. They pack up and leave when shit get real, man. But they want y'all to vote them in. But look, we appreciate y'all tuning into us today, man. We ready to pod. We ready to cut up. We ready to do what the fuck it is that we do. A lot of energy, a lot of fun. And we coming a little left today like we always do. So I got the fellas with me. And what brings up this topic is, first of all, shout out to Black Hollywood, because I'm going to say within the last...
Shout out to your shirt, buddy.
I shot the sheriff, my man, Bob Marley and shit.
But he didn't shoot the deputy.
He didn't shoot the deputy.
Because Conway shot the deputy.
Well, he probably did, statutes of limitations. But that's the shit that he do. That's the shit that he do.
Limitation. Watch out.
But I'm gonna tell you, I'm tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you what was sparking this crazy this conversation we had today. Like, I've been noticing that, like, I'm gonna say, really, it was really before the pandemic, but now since we in the pandemic, like, Black Hollywood is like really stepped up. Like, when it comes to like dropping film and shows, especially shows and films that depict eras before us, to make us what we are today. You know what I mean? Yeah. Shout out to Nate Parker. He did American Skin. He did the Nat Turner story. Shout out to Ava DuVernay. She's been going crazy. Didn't Regina King do One Night in Miami?
She did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then the most recent joint that dropped, I don't know who directed that. I'm gonna let Andy look that shit up.
That's Spike Lee.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Spike Lee.
Spike Lee did that? We sure? I don't think
He's
so.
part of the team. All right, go ahead. Y'all
But
y'all
being
think-
part, we can't give him full credit because it's not a Spike Lee joint.
It doesn't matter.
Even though he could have been on there, I don't know. I have to,
I don't know. I had to do my research.
we're gonna have to do the research because we just can't give Spike, even though Spike is the man.
One brother was like Shakur King. What's his name?
Spike's son.
Yo, he full of shit, yo. Yo, you full of shit, yo. You just want to get. But shout out to Spike though, cause Spike been doing it. But what sparked this joint is looking at these films and these shows and looking at an era before us, right? And seeing how legendary a lot of these people were at early ages. You know what I mean? 19, 21, 22, 23 years old. People were already doing their thing. They knew who they were. Like, they were leading people. So, with us around here in the era that we came up with, I want to ask the question, what the fuck was you doing at 21? Was you cutting up? Was you running the streets? Was you being a little hoe like Andy used to be? You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Yeah, put me out there. Like,
Back on that again.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Back on that again.
I saved Andy, y'all. I brought him back to the church and all that shit because I've been had slowed down. Man, so I had to bring Andy.
So Lucifer bring
I had to reel him back and come on home, brother. Get it together. You know I've been an angel. But where the fuck was you at 21?
At 21, I was in college.
Were you doing your work or
And
were
they-
you
No, I'm gonna keep it a buck.
were you licking
I was
clips
in
for somebody else to do it?
I was in
or
South
were
Carolina, right? And I was part of the Nazarene Take Back the Streets in South Carolina.
The hypocrisy.
I mean, I used to be
hypocrisy
really on
in
some
your
shit.
life.
I used to be really.
The
I
hypocrisy.
ain't gonna lie, I was because then
The hypocrisy in your life. That's hypocrisy. You was a hypocrite at 21.
He was intelligent hoodlum.
Yeah,
Come on, bro.
intelligent hoodlum. Thank you. I take.
Come
that.
on. That's like you working a 9 to 5 at a rehab center for drug addicts, but you going out selling motherfuckers Ready Rock.
But
You was playing in the street, then you talking about I want to save them at the same time. You a hypocrite. I knew you was a piece of shit at 21, man. Fuck you, man. What was you doing at 21, Flesh?
Damn.
He was a hypocrite, yo.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
21. Was taking care of my family. I graduated out as a master auto technician working on cars.
Yeah, you was
21.
extra mature. Extra mature. Like we established Andy was a hoe. At 21, I was, trying to
I'm waiting for the bullshit. Go ahead. We were 21.
You gotta realize at
21, what
21,
you doing at
you gotta
21?
realize at 21, I had 2 daughters.
I know you know.
I had 2 daughters.
You was humping raw at an early age.
Yeah.
You were humping raw.
Raw.
Same woman.
You know what I'm saying? That's fine.
I gotta throw that out there.
Putting his wild oats everywhere.
Ain't no future over
He
here.
ain't wait down.
Go crazy.
He ain't wait.
Damn, they'll just do Future Hendrix right underneath the bus where he should be.
Yo, I just realized.
I don't
Same.
But yeah, you had to grow up early. You was in college being a hypocrite. Andy was a hoe. You know what I'm saying? And I was out here just dibbling.
Smashing
I had a 2-year-old. I had a 2-year-old.
Yeah, 2-year-old.
I had a 2-year-old. So I was a little bit in a whole phase. And then I was
Single day.
yeah, that's what I
Right.
was. That's what I was. I was a promiscuous single. That's because I was hurting. I was going through a lot. I was broken.
He was going through a lot.
I was broken. But the funny
Definitely
thing,
going through a lot.
the funny thing, right? What bring me to that question is like looking at Judas and the Black Messiah, right, and giving us history on Fred Hampton and the Black Panthers. Mm-hmm. He died at 21, a legend.
Yeah.
So at that time, that means years prior, they were already on his radar. So you talking about 18, 19, 20 years old, you were making your mark to the point where the government knew who the fuck you was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he and
The government.
he wasn't the only one. Like it was a lot of people that was.
Tupac did that shit.
No.
But what I'm saying is
Not
that era,
at 21.
that era
He died at
was
24 though.
he was assassinated at 24. But I don't
It
think
wasn't with
he
the
was.
feds.
No, but I'm talking about the shit that he was talking about making a statement about the government and how everything ran.
But we weren't following him for that.
weren't following him for that.
We following him for the bullshit.
He wasn't
to be
following
truthful.
himself for that. He was only.
He go ahead and make the Tupac fans mad.
The shit that Tupac, right?
Oh God.
He anti-Pac, y'all.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with him. And when you hear Pac in that early age talking all that Black Power shit and all, like power to the people and all this, it's because he was born into that, bro. Nothing's wrong.
No.
But he didn't live that shit. That's why it was so easy for him to change into Brenda had a baby to then turn into, I'm fucking around. What is the song? Like, I get around. It was so easy.
No, that's because
it was easy.
I don't want to get sidetracked talking about that because everybody got more than one side to it.
It was easy.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying on that.
So I'm not going to say that he was getting hunted down because of his political talks. If it was going to be hunted down, it's because he was born into something that they was trying to assassinate anything that had anything to do with.
He was born into it, so it was embedded in his blood. But that's not what made him who he is. That the politics, it wasn't made. It wasn't who he is. My thing is, if you were born in a different era, you were a mechanic, you was in college, we was playing around.
Auto technician, okay? I had certifications. I had, don't put
people
me in
at Jiffy Lube got certifications.
No, they don't.
People at Jiffy Lube.
No, they don't. They are not ASC certified. No, they're not. Yeah.
You was just, I'm not saying
you have to be ASC certified in every particular.
You know, a technician hate when you just call them a lube tech. Pause. They hate that shit. Like, you just change oil. No, I can do brakes too. Like,
but if you ain't got your ASC certifications, you ain't nothing.
Yo, why are we talking about
I'm just saying.
certifications? Like, it
don't matter no more. I'm just saying.
Why did he get so spicy about his ASC certification?
I'm just saying.
And we talking about
me.
We talking about back then.
He away from snap his fingers like that. No, that ain't what I did. But
I played with you just now.
At 20,
I ain't played with you that far, but that
up and down, side snap. You know what I'm saying?
That's the nigga sitting in the chair swinging his leg.
I'm not. My shit on the ground. Oh! My shit is on the ground. Yo. Look. I want everybody to hear the stomp.
Oh, but it made it look worse because it looked like you was pushing yourself up because your arms down.
That's what you doing?
I just said you shouldn't have did that. You should have stayed here. You should have stayed here because it looked like you had a little shift you can get up the chair.
Yo.
Yo called you Tory Lane.
Fuck. Yo.
No, he got hair.
But listen, at 21, if you were in a different era, say you were born in that civil rights era and you were 21, would you have been the same person you were in your era at 21? Would you still been a guy in college? Or would you been on the front lines of things? Would you have started something? What would you have been, Andy? Where would I have been? So let me switch it this time. Let me start with Flesh. Where would you have been in a different era if you was in the civil rights movement?
I mean, in that era, I probably most likely the front line with my attitude of how I was back when I was younger, because I used to speak out about shit like this because of what I learned from my grandmother. But I came through in the era where we reaped the benefits of what
somebody else's struggle.
Yeah, somebody else's struggle. So when I talked about the things to my peers that my grandmother and them family members told me about their experience, it was like I was talking on deaf ears because in the hood they didn't have to deal with it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I know I probably would have been in the front line because I had the mentality of I still to this day I'll die behind what I believe in. I'm not scared to die.
That's facts. Andy, yell at him. Tell him where you'd have been at. Would you have been the same dude at 21 in a different era? Would you been a leader? What have you been done? What have you been doing?
I probably would have got down with one of those organizations within the community and stuff, so far as trying to advocate for our rights and stuff. So that's probably what I probably would have did if I was back then. You know what I'm saying?
Bet. Yo.
Yeah, I'd have been a Crown or a Panther, cuz.
You'd have been a Panther?
A Crown or a Panther?
Oh, I thought you said a paranoid Panther.
That's only in Carolina. That's the only paranoid Panthers I know. They can't win a fucking game out here. Bums is Raven Nation out here, baby. Bums.
Because, like with Flesh, right? Like, I had my grandmother and my aunt, sisters, they were born in the 20s and the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I heard, like shit like that as a child. You know what I mean? So when I was able to become my own, what I say I was my own, I did do other shit, but I also was like, yo, like, fuck that. Like, I was on the fuck the pigs and fuck, like, you know what I mean? Anybody trying to oppress my people. Mm-hmm. Like, I was really, like, I ain't gonna lie.
All while
selling
dope
drugs.
to him and shooting them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Hypocrite.
Hey, look, though.
I hate your life. I hate where you came from. You a piece of shit.
Hey, look, but at the end of the day, right?
You can't kill him, I can.
It was, yeah. But it was
He'd have been that guy. FBI would have came to him like, man, we got a new gun for you. You want it? All you gotta do is take one of them niggas out. Really? I don't like that nigga no way. I'm taking him out.
I think for me, I'd have definitely tried to make myself to win like a general, bro. Because I would have loved shooting one of them motherfuckers. Like shooting somebody. Like I would have loved that shit.
I know. We know. This is what we trying to allude to.
No, I'm just
You know you love something
my
you tried it before.
For my people.
You know you love something you tried it before.
Like,
I really want you, like,
this
after
what you never
we
had.
turn these mics and cameras off, we got to talk about getting you therapy. You really should sit and talk
like
to somebody
like
about your
watching
issues.
the movie Judas and the Black Messiah, right? That shit, I ain't gonna lie, that shit put a tear in my heart. You hear me? Because
it was hurtful.
like I seen like why my aunt now still today don't like talking about certain shit because she lived that shit. You know what I mean?
That's my grandmother.
You know what I mean? And I know if I was in that time and she was like now, and she was still living, and my grandma was still living. Oh, why? Who did what? Them boys did what? Yeah, I'd have been fucking, yeah. They probably would have killed me like they did, what's his name? Conrad Shaw. They'd have waited till they would have shot me, put me in the hospital and murked my ass. You feel me?
But you know, Al Khan gone. That's why, you know, when we say we the last of a dying breed.
That's a
when it
fact.
comes to us, Al Khan are gone because they have, and like I said, you know, they used our culture to switch on us with that behavior. It's like we can't, women wonder why men don't stand out in leadership positions and things like that anymore because it doesn't exist and it's not even taught anymore. You know, like the guys, like the generation, like, you know, I'm glad that I had the opportunity to install that in my sons, and just like you and a lot of the very few of us that's still been around and present in their kids' lives. But it's just hard to know that in this time, if the pressure ever was to get pumped again, where are the men, the black men, going to be standing at when it happened? You got a whole bunch of talkers, and it's
Especially with social media.
Especially with social media. Even now, like the people in our politician roles and everything, they talk. But if it really came down to where we had to get physical, I see more women on the front line than men.
And
I really did.
You know what's so fucked up about that is because I take it as this. Women from then to now
Are different.
Are different.
They the same.
But they still fighting that same fight, bro.
Yeah.
Well, women of color. Don't.
Becky with the good hair,
Yeah,
she don't count?
You're done.
Okay.
She never had nothing to fight for.
Right.
So,
You
what,
right.
voting, that was it, right?
Yeah, you right about that
Fighting
shit.
for voting. That was it. Women, that's the only time women came together to become one to fight for voting.
They in the Black Lives Matter movement. We ain't gonna talk about that. We can keep staying on the focus.
They was in NAACP
Here you go.
too.
Here you go.
They was in NAACP too.
There was a few sprinkled in.
But because they were there,
A few sprinkled in the Black
look at
Panthers.
how someone was so easy to hurry up and leave us because their kind didn't fuck with them because they was trying to push up with. So they don't get no pass. Fuck that. So the women of our color still fighting what they did back, trying to fight for civil rights, all the way to now. And now it's getting worse because now instead of the white man killing her, our own killing her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they in a win-lose situation. Like they coming to the forefront, but at the end of the day, it's like they almost have to turn off I have children because they got to push an objective. So it's like if this was to happen again, like back then, and they push up to the forefront, it would be more motherless kids because the women gonna be the forefronters, and some of the men that they lay with
Yeah, because I'm
They're
being,
gonna be
yeah,
they're
'cause
gonna
I'm
be
being-
William
'cause I'm being-
O'Hare.
'cause and like I told people,
O'Neal.
and I've been telling people about this, that the way America is now is not the America that it was back during that time.
And it wasn't that long ago either.
And it wasn't that long ago.
Wasn't that long ago.
That's
But-
what I be wanting people to
Yeah,
understand.
it wasn't that
Wasn't that
long
long
ago. It's like I
ago.
told people, it's only been 64 years since desegregation. It's only been 64 years. So imagine somebody in your family, you know, that's 64 years old.
Your
And that's
mama.
how- your mama. That's how long it's been. It hasn't been that long. But the America back then to now is in a conflicting spot when it comes to the black community, because what's happening is that we are such a small proportion that we are actually being diluted and being mixed in other cultures and other races, and it's not a lot of pure blacks as the generations go on. So it's very few. So if it actually has to come to a point where somebody have to make a stand for being black, how is that going to be done when we get older and gone, when you're dealing with a generation that's caught in the middle of, I got a white mom or a black dad or this, because they label you black now, but that's not how it's going to be later on in the future.
What you gotta think about, someone with the white parents, like a white mom or a white dad, act like Patrick Mahomes. They stand on the white side. They when something black happens, they don't run to us. They don't think about us. Someone like
You saying somebody coming from a mixed culture, not
Yeah,
just a Patrick.
don't- they
I don't want to sing on Patrick Mahomes because I don't
I
know what he do.
I am.
I'm just saying I don't know what he do. I don't know.
If y'all don't want to, I'll be that person on this show. I'll be him.
Because you ain't gonna do nothing but shoot him if he say something to you.
No, I might smack him because he's rich. But look, like I still remember things like, all right, when the NFL was talking about Trayvon and he put out his shit because he wasn't in the NFL yet, but he put his shit out of, Trayvon shouldn't have wore the hoodie.
Who said that?
That's what Patrick Mahomes said.
Go ahead, slap him.
That
Now you got my support. Slap him.
Thank you.
Okay.
Like, he shouldn't have wore the hoodie. You use your platform being in Texas as being the possible #1 draft pick coming out. That's the first thing you think about saying? You know what I mean? And you was like, he was in his junior year then, but he still was a 5-star.
Well, I could say a lot of people that of mixed race, black, white, black, Asian, whatever.
They pick the safe side.
They're gonna pick the safe side because from where they're raised and where they come from, they're between both sides.
Yeah,
It's all about they can't relate to us as of yet until the shit happens to them. Once they realize, hey, even though I got a lot of money or I came up different, when you get pulled over in an area where they don't think you're supposed to be and they treat you like a nigga, then you wake
just
up.
like Paul Mooney said,
You know what I'm saying?
You get your nigga wake up call.
That's it.
Motherfuckers be blind.
But let me answer the question that I asked.
'cause you didn't.
I am because I'm letting y'all go. You know, I want y'all to get it off your
I'm gonna
chest.
bring it
Pause. But for me, at 21, if I lived in, I say, the civil rights movement, I'm not too sure I would have seen 21.
You would have been Bill O'Hare.
No, what I'm saying is,
Bill O'Neill.
what I'm saying, I'm not going to respond to that. Some things just don't want a response. Some things just don't want a response, Andy. But fuck him. But for me,
this call. It's like, nah.
Yo, he was a bitch. Yo. He was a bitch.
Shorty ready to kill his ass.
Yeah, she was ready.
I wanted her too, though, but my bad, yo. She
No, you
wouldn't,
good.
yo. You wouldn't.
Yeah, she ready to murk his ass. But for me, I'm gonna say, I don't know if I would have seen 21 or even made it past based off of my attitude and my temper. Because I always was fighting and I always had a problem with discipline. So I was always ready to turn up. And I'm still always ready to turn up. But now it has to make logical sense. Back then, it was no thinking. It was just, oh, you said something to me. Oh, you got a problem like now we got to go. And I'm not too sure if the police or whoever was governing it would have been able to deal with me. They might have killed me. Or even being a part of a party like the Black Panther Party, I wouldn't have been able to probably take the discipline. You shut up and do this. Fuck you talking to, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Now I got to smack you.
Yeah.
Now they might have took me out. So I'm not too sure that I would have been even able to survive that shit. Now, me growing up, not literally because I'm short as fuck, but me growing up in the mature sense, At this age,
Motherfucker says.
it would have been different. But at 21, I couldn't see myself being on neither one of the sides. So I could have said, yeah, I'm with this side because it's about my people. But as soon as you give me discipline, we're gonna fight.
I agree.
Now, listen,
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, and like I said, because of upbringing, and I don't know if y'all experience like me, you go through so much shit. If you had the personality of I don't give a fuck. If I die, I die. Like it seemed like y'all had similar personalities.
Like whatever.
Now, yeah, because when you watch these old movies and you see how these fucking small towns, like especially like down south, and what the fucking police and the fucking government was able to do to you and not receive any consequences for it. Can you imagine being in a position where somebody can fucking take your life or torture you, and you ain't nobody? It's nobody over top of them to call. It's like, what the fuck you gonna do?
Because the feds.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I know. I went. I'd have been a killer, bro. Like I know. Just because of my temper, like raised my grandmother told me, your temper is gonna get you in trouble. It's gonna get you in trouble again, and it essentially kind of did. I survived,
still,
but it's just
look, and like for me, it's still late. When I say certain things, sometimes, like previous women who I dated, when certain situations come up, because I'm a positive person, but I keep telling people all the time, the only thing that keeps me in line is the fear of the Most High. I'm the same person.
Yeah.
The only reason why I stopped being violent was because everything that I think about, I got to question, all right, what's going to happen when I meet him? But I have a line drawn. Like, I don't play around with my kids.
I don't play around with the kids, kids or whoever I'm involved with, like because I'm a protector, so I'm a snap.
So I tell people, so I learned to take the higher road because in my brain I go, if you make me give up, if I gotta cross the line to do something that's drastic, it's not good. If I gotta throw everything away, it's not coming with a short cost. It's going to be big.
Yeah,
like,
major.
It's going to be big.
I'm with that.
If I got to come out and everything that you're going to make me sacrifice, everything that I work hard for, the people will remember my name because the shit going to be epic.
Right.
And
it's going to be epic.
I'm with you.
And that's what I'm saying, yo. When y'all got to put up balls because sometimes y'all be when I get into that mind state. You could be family, bro. You
just black out.
Like
you black out.
This guy here saved me to be able to talk to y'all because family was about to die.
It damn sure was that day.
Like my girl, because when you do something as what was done, I feel like you can harm my child.
Because you know what's the problem is that when it comes to us is that we have been told to come out of our natural sense of being a protector and a provider.
I can't do it.
But I'm just saying that we, like society, and with the help, and like I said, I understand from a woman's standpoint, would they be like, I don't want you to get in trouble, I don't want this and this to happen, but you can't take a man out of his position. Now, going overboard for less shit is understandable. That's why a woman
talk that shit, Flesh.
That's why a woman is supposed
talk
to be
that shit.
To tell you to use her femininity to say, baby, this
because she give you balance.
Because she give you balance.
Yeah. Talk that shit.
It's not the time to do this.
Talk that shit.
But sometimes, depending on what it is, she's gonna always be there to go. Let me protect my king. But it gotta come to a point where you know, all right, listen to her and go, she right. But you know, it's gonna be some points where you're gonna be like, nah, baby, this ain't the time to be that way. Because you can't take, if you start taking that protector thing out of a man and he lives like that for so long and you basically emasculate him when it's time for him to rise, he's not going to fucking rise.
Yo, that's me, yo, like, because going back to my temper, like I'm able to control it now, being older, because I see things for what they are. So stop. You know what I'm saying? So let me talk to this side of the room.
You don't want to lie to me.
So look, right? when it comes to me, like
he need the same effect. Yeah. We know you.
What? I didn't turn up lately.
Is this the same nigga that was driving around looking for a nigga not too long ago?
Yeah, just
go ahead, talk to them.
But why did I look for him though?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter, because it makes sense. Because I'm talking about if something happens to me, I can make logical sense. But when it deals with women in my family or the children, I gotta come get you. I don't need to call nobody. I need to come get you.
But then somebody do something to him. then I'm gonna have to go out and do something to somebody else. This is gonna be a fucking domino effect.
I'm just saying, when it come to me, like words and all that shit ain't gonna affect me. You're gonna have to physically put your hands on me, pause, for me to turn up. I'm not. I'm more logical. The words are gonna hurt me if you say something about the women and the children. I gotta come.
We ain't trying to throw his business out there, so we gonna leave that for
We can throw it out there because I'm still gonna get them. I still gotta see you, bro.
For deserves to talk.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta go see you when it comes to protecting women in my family. That's all I'm saying. But I don't think that in that era I would have lived. I don't see it. Like, because I'd have been in the middle. I'd have been ready to fight the people that's oppressing us, and then if you're disciplining me on this side, telling me to do push-ups and go stand in the fucking corner, bitch, you out your mind.
I ain't gonna lie, that right there.
You out your mind,
that
bro.
part right
like,
You
there.
talking the Black Panther?
Yeah,
I think I would've-
you owe me this, and you gonna fucking hold homes.
I probably would have died then too, because I'd have been like, you know
like-
what, Fred?
You know what I'm saying?
No, you was. I don't think y'all would have did it. I think y'all would have conformed because of the
I can't.
cause.
No.
I think in that era, because of what was going on,
No.
I think you would have conformed for the cause.
That's always no.
Because a lot of them men conform.
We have a
the
cause.
cause.
We have a cause now, and I'm not conforming to no type
No,
of
this
discipline.
cause ain't that cause.
I'm
like that
I'm not
back
conforming
then.
to that
But
discipline.
I don't think.
If I go to the front place and you tell me I gotta go around the back to get my food, no, it's a different cause, motherfucker.
But it's a difference on being down for a cause and then you telling me to do something because you didn't agree with the way that I talk to you or my views on shit.
He
And
was hollering at the girl there.
so what we supposed to do? We
Because
like
no,
pussy.
it's like sisters though. That's like your sister.
That's
now.
not your sister if we ain't come out the same
I know,
coochie or was producing the same balls. She's different.
But then
she
did-
ain't my blood if
Then
she
he
look
did
good.
fuck the
Then-
secretary, right?
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. The hypocrisy in that motherfucker.
Right.
Come on, man. I be talking to you, don't holler at shorty like we man, get the
And
man.
then you fucked.
That's the only bad thing I say
Yeah.
in the joint.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's the only
After he
bad
make
thing
me
is-
do push-ups, and I found out that I don't like. So where your push-ups at, cuz?
No, and not even that. Now you gotta shoot me to fade, cause now she probably dealing with somebody, and that could have been my boo thing. Now you gotta shoot me to fade. Now we gotta shoot the
So
fade.
now you gotta do your push-ups.
Now we got-
and shoot fade.
But guess what? But long as the agreement there to shoot the fade and everything cool after that.
That's fine.
That's just
It's
manly
been
shit.
it's been
Come on,
plenty
let's
of
think
people
about
I
it.
slapped and we went out and had
Let's
a
think
drink.
about it. If I'd have been like Fred,
They was bitches. They was
I'd have been like,
bitches. Some motherfuckers bitches.
what?
Nigga say slap me to have a drink. No. Fuck, you gonna slap me and then go have a drink.
It's
Nah,
happened,
that's
yo.
it. That's it.
But it's happened, yo. Like we're great friends.
They bitches. I'm saying, if they see this right now, you're a bitch and you owe me a fade.
Yo, like people, you're supposed to be a man and be able to,
You're not gonna
serve it
smack
out,
me and
man.
tell me buy you a drink, bro.
No, I didn't say bye. I said go have a drink.
Everybody ain't Nick.
So,
Oh man, that is a whole different.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut you out when the cameras go off.
So-
now I gotta get you.
but no, yo, I
can't
would
believe you
have
said
had
that shit.
I can't.
He
I
fucking my
would
shit
have
up.
definitely been like, yo, you fucking Miss Johnson now, like, I need your push-ups. Oh, you got it. You know what I mean?
We're
Like,
gonna have a conversation on why it was good for
why
you.
It'd be like this. Nigga, I did push-ups up in
yeah, right. But for fucking with him, saying some shit like that, I probably would have died then.
Yo, can we touch on the hypocrisy? Because I brought up black cinema in the beginning when we started this conversation, right?
Yeah.
So one thing I noticed when it comes to what's going on currently, a lot of people have a problem with our culture following the celebrities, right? Saying we stand on their every word. Why the fuck they're not our leaders? They're not this. They're not that. They're just celebrities. They're entertainers. Why the fuck we following them? Why? Oh, we listen to their opinions. Their opinions are not facts. We shouldn't be following them. We should be following these leaders over here. Then I had to sit back and look from the era that came before us when we dealing in the civil rights. Most of the people that we follow were entertainers.
Exactly.
You had Muhammad Ali, you had Harry Belafonte, you had the Sam Cooks of the
Sam
world,
Cooke, yeah.
you had Marvin Gaye, you had all of these people.
But
So what's so different from then? Listen to the people that are in front of the culture because they're celebrities versus now. What's the difference now?
Let me tell you now, because now, if you go back to watch the Judas and the Black Messiah, right? The FBI gave you what the issue was. When we went after these people, we turned them from being regular niggers
And that's
to
what they call them.
celebrities.
Because there's power in that.
The power, because now not only are you getting money, you also have protection now. We can't just do anything
we
to
want
you.
to you, yep.
Right? So, instead of that, let's put this narrative out here. Let's say, yo, yeah, Beyonce doing this, but she ain't this, she ain't that. But because, hold up, it always comes from the other culture to tell us what to do with our culture.
But like I said before, that's why, and now we ain't gonna stay on this topic. That's why I really feel, and I don't be judging shit off. I just don't, when shit just don't seem right, I just don't trust that situation that happened with fucking Cosby. I think the same fucking tactics was used for him.
A lot of people believe
out of the
that.
fucking blue moon,
They just couldn't shoot
all
him.
this shit's, what I'm saying is that out of the blue moon,
Yeah.
when he start doing shit and going around to these HBUs and trying to build up the black community for his purpose, all of a sudden out of nowhere, this shit comes up. Like, that's why I said the shit just don't make sense to me.
But see, this
and
is
I don't eat until whatever the fucking media tells me.
You gotta, you can't, because you can't believe everything that hit the internet. You gotta take it for what it's worth. Sit back and do your research.
But see, they know the masses, and I try to tell them, right, the right people, the system uses the same tactics over and over again because it never fails.
But they pick and choose who
It never fails.
they want to attack. They couldn't attack a
doesn't
Paul
fit in
Mooney. Like, you can't attack a Paul Mooney because Paul Mooney been telling you if I died, they did it to me. They couldn't attack damn. I forgot the
They
old.
send
What's
people
the
to
old head?
infiltrate.
What's the old
Because
head
even
name?
Nipsey said that shit.
What's the old head?
Even Nipsey said that. They send people to infiltrate you.
What's the old head
Young
name,
guy.
yo? That kept telling us like, yo.
Dick Gregory?
Dick Gregory.
Okay.
He kept telling us this shit, right? Mm-hmm. But you couldn't send nobody after him either because he had protection.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He had a protection crew. So these people are going to be able to die naturally. So they don't want you to listen to these celebrities because it's like, okay, they want you to listen to fucking Kodak, you know. Don't listen to these Black Thoughts. Don't listen to.
But the problem is, and this is the thing. Like I said before, they can talk and say what the fuck that they want to say, but once people start listening to them, they lose power. Because remember what Martin Luther King, like they said, the CIA, they had it. We'll never have. We don't want nobody to have that much power over people anymore. Because once you lose control, you lose everything.
That's why they had to give.
If I can't get you to do the shit that I need you to do, and you start being woke, and now you uniting together, I can't be a government.
That's why they had.
I have no longer have control over you. So what I got to do? What you always got to do? Take out the head. You got to take out the head. Once you take out the head, the rest of the leadership gets scared and everybody start backing off. Don't nobody talk about it. Mm-hmm. Time go on and then shit go back to the way they had.
Do y'all understand?
And then just give them a little bit of breadcrumbs to make it seem like we sorry, and then everybody goes back into their bullshit.
Y'all even know that? What was it? 1964, right? When the support ended, right?
Yeah, desegregation.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was 1964.
Do y'all notice that right when that happened, Martin the Mountain got killed right back to back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but Martin happened. Then the very following 8 months, Malcolm was taken out the same fucking way, bro.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Always killed by our own kind.
But it was the fact that it matter being is the 3 letters were the see for them. You could kill the police all you want as long as you don't kill us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can kill the people that's supposed to protect you on a regular basis.
Yeah,
as long as you don't kill us.
I said this, but that's why I say like I'm being a thinker. Once I saw, you know the powers that be control media. The workers there that's reading off the teleprompters, they ain't doing no research and all that shit because they don't have time to do all that information that they getting. They're reading shit off a teleprompter. They even
They're being produced.
They're being produced. So they even showed you on YouTube when they started showing back a few years back, and they were saying that is everybody from every state had the same thing going on because they were showing highlights of each news reporter saying the same fucking shit verbatim. The same.
They sent that mass email out, CBS and ABC, and
so people
say this.
So everybody read it. So from a viewer standpoint, the information that they're getting
is force-fed.
It's force-fed and control information.
Of course.
Even with the whole anti-police movement started going. Once they started allowing you to start attacking police on the masses, because that was the bridge in between protecting the politicians and the poor, the rich and the poor. So when they started doing that, I sat back and went, "What are they up to that we don't know?" Like what are they up to now? Because they want America to move in a different direction now. Because what has been the tradition for hundreds of fucking years is now about to change.
They that was that whole that raid on the Capitol shit was about. That was about them protecting their way of living. Right. And that shit was said in the movie, like, we got to protect our way of living. Because I told people before, I'm like, yo, they wasn't so much raiding because of Trump didn't get back in. They were raiding for their way of life. If you've been dominating every race of people in this country since you landed fucking here, what makes you think they just want to give that up?
Generation.
Because truth be told, in 15, 20 years, everybody's going to be brown.
Yeah.
In 15, it will be no more white table.
Yeah, but
they
my
almost
question
over.
With that is the powers to be, why are they letting it happen? That's my whole question, because most 9 times out of 10 they white.
But
I'm trying to figure out why is this shit happening.
Know why I feel for how I feel? Like, I feel everything that comes up, right? It always a disclosure there. Like, I'm gonna bring y'all a little about me, right? My blood pressure became a little high because I had a knee injury, right? Yo said to me, I'm giving you this drug. I said, why this one? It's other drugs. He said, no, I'm giving you this one because this one works way much better for black people than it does for any other race. Why is that? I don't know. Oh, you know. Because then I did some more research. That drug is going to be pushed over the next 20 years to be the only drug here. Why is that? If white people supposed to still be here. If you're white with a black gene, that drug works perfect for you. And right now, it's about 65% of whites with black genes in them. So that drug works for them. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's getting to the point where why work hard where we could just let them fucking reproduce. Keep fucking out people so that at least we'll have some type of blood sake.
That's because I say, like, I listen. I get what he's saying, because even now, like I told you, when I look at people, because I'm always observing people and culture, and how when we were kids, and even through our teenage stages to our 20s, how white people had a standard as a whole, to now they look and do everything that we naturally did now. Like when you look at the white Americans of the day, they rhythm on point. The creativity, the singer, everything that we had naturally, they have.
Look at the news
even the white girls getting fat asses now.
What you mean getting? They born with
look
these
at the
shits
news
now.
anchor. The news anchor that be dancing and shit.
Yo, he be riding.
He's a fucking...
He invited to the cookout.
But see what I mean? How from our parents, from our grandparents to our parents to us to now what our kids see are totally two different type of worlds.
Yeah.
So all that shit that happened in the past, that's why for the youth of the day, it doesn't affect them.
But
because they going, I ain't had to deal with that shit.
Know why? Because they naive. America been giving them so much good shit on a bad plate that they don't think that shit can happen again. That's why I sat there with Brooke. We watch American Skin.
But that's what a lot of people not doing. You're teaching. A lot of people don't teach.
I sat there with Brooke. We watched Judas and the Black Messiah. I'm going to tell you one thing, yo. My daughter is a fucking, like, a sponge, right? And she like, so they didn't like us when grandma was living? They didn't like her when she was a kid? Like, no. She didn't understand that shit. She like, that's crazy because I want to have some white friends, but I don't have none because we don't live around none. You know what I mean? It's that. So she's sitting there, but we not teaching.
Yeah, but
it goes back to what you said.
But it's good that you doing that because of the way things are. If she ever get exposed to some form of racism, it's gonna feel uncomfortable to her. But not that much because why she's made aware of it now.
I'm gonna say this, and I want to piggyback to the power of celebrity when we talking about movements, right? And when we started the show today, you know, we talked about how Black Hollywood has really come to the forefront with a lot of stuff from our past. My thing with what's going on now, I think the power of celebrity is what's needed because it feel like it's waking a lot more people up because the content is so well put together. Mm-hmm. So you're intrigued. So a lot more people are engaged in what they kind of looked over in books, what they were taught, because now it's depicted in film in your face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, I think, like, what do y'all think if a movie like what Spike Lee did, Malcolm X, you think it was before its time? Like, what if that movie dropped today? What would the impact be of that movie?
For us,
Because the way that we dropping people are soaking this shit up.
Yeah, but see, they soaking it up because of the element. Like I said, the element of everything that has been exposed. Like, see, we already knew, but society, United States, the country, like as a whole, even the world as a whole.
But before you go deep, but would the film have a bigger impact today, or did he release it at?
Yeah.
The right time when he released it.
I think he released it at the right time that he released it back then because it had to go. We still needed that during that time.
You saying he was pretty much the catalyst for us to do what we're doing today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
We needed that because a long time. Spike Lee was at his moment. His destiny in life was exactly what it was for because it kept us as Black people on the perspective of everything that happened before we were born to let us so we don't forget. So the words get passed on from generation. For him to let it come out now, I think that's kind of a double standard with that because if he didn't have it before, I don't think that if we didn't get those knowledges before, I don't think we would have passed on what we needed to pass on.
All right, and before you get deep, hold up. Answer the question before you get deep. What would it have been? Did he release it at the right time, or do you believe it would have a bigger impact today?
I think
I'm gonna get it from you two, Andy.
I really think if he had released it today, because it's not just one style of people that's trying to fight right now than it was yesterday when he did release it. I think it would have been a major impact. Now, what it wouldn't have done...
You took today?
Yeah. Today, because today's world, you have more white people, more other cultures trying to watch these type of movies. Back then, we was filling the movie theaters up because that was our culture.
Because that shit meant something because we were the oppressed.
Right. But shit never happened because we were the only one fighting. Now there's other races jumping on board. Certain shit not changing as fast as it's going, like we think, but shit is changing slowly because they have other races on board.
I think 30 years it'll be different. Everybody that was old and decrepit and racist from that era is gonna be dead, and America's gonna move a different direction. Andy, answer the same question. Do you think the movie had a bigger impact then or now?
I think it had a bigger impact then, and the reason why I say that is because when he wanted to do that film, he couldn't go to the white folks.
He had to go to his own people and get financing.
And get these funds to go ahead and put out this movie. Because nobody was like, Malcolm X, oh my goodness. You talking about a black supremacist? Oh my goodness. You know,
White Hollywood didn't want it.
They did not want to have no parts of fucking Malcolm X.
They didn't want it.
By him putting out that film and showing Malcolm X the humanistic side of him, showing that he was a father. He cared about his people. And then show his diversity. When he went over to Mecca and he had white brothers and sisters that had blonde hair and blue eyes. It showed you that he came full circle. You know what I'm saying? And I think that film, even like you know how I am. Spike is that dude. He's that shit. Every film he drops a jewel.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But boy,
we ain't gonna get into why he like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But like,
he got a man crush on Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But anyway, even back to school days, he showed about even issues amongst us with colorism.
He's been on his shit.
Dark skin, light skin. Do the right thing. Yusef Hawkins, he threw the jewel in there, like so far as like this racial tension within Brooklyn. I never knew it was racial tension inside of Brooklyn. I never knew that. I never thought I wouldn't even picture something like that would be going on. Young people. He's always dropped a jewel, and even to people where you'll say like somebody like a Tyler Perry, even though he gave Tyler Perry so much flack, Tyler Perry said, "Yo, I'm naming the studio after you on my joint because you've done so much for our people."
And that's after they fixed their beef.
Exactly.
And it was that was just about ego. That's all it was. I'm gonna answer the question. I think it would have had more of a impact today, but I think it was released at the right time. That's what I'm gonna say because it spawned what we got now. Because now it's like really. White Hollywood's still controlling it because they're controlling the dollars, but they saying, "Hey, we can't look past the fact that these black
y'all,
hold on that they looking past. They not looking past the fact that black people are really. It's still about the money. So they're like, yeah, they gonna watch it. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna push it. But I think it would have had a bigger impact. But I think it was released at the right time. I do.
I
agree.
You have all these things that took place, but the major thing, in my opinion, and then I said this over fucking 10 years ago, hip hop is what helped fucking bridge the gap with racism.
Oh yes,
hip hop
yes
is the most powerful.
Nobody
fucking
disagrees.
thing
Nobody disagrees with that shit.
Bridge the gap because remember the generation when that shit was going on, that young white America was starting to tune into the new music that white people ain't want. That's black music. That's that. And they started loving it. And then over time, the concerts was just mostly all white. So look at all those people, all those white people that were still racist and had that prejudice in them, and they kids like, what the fuck you talking about, mom?
Imagine a stage.
Dad,
imagine a stage play. Imagine a stage play
messages back then.
Imagine a stage play with hip hop. Just a stage play. It's just all hip hop records, but it's a stage play. You playing self destruction. You playing something public, and everything's telling a story in a stage play. That shit would be fucking incredible.
And it'd be mostly white faces out there.
Absolutely, because they always intrigued about our culture and not growing up around. They want to see that they're intrigued by us.
That's the only reason why I say hip hop bridged the gap.
And just like us coming from the slums, we intrigued with a white suburban lifestyle.
Because we start wearing fucking skateboard chains on our pants,
tight ass pants,
goofies. Because we
goofies.
It almost like a reverse, like
goofies.
Hip hop was the insight to the white people who I'm scared of them, right? But they still wanted to know what the fuck we did. Music will make anybody say fuck if I hate you or not.
Because of the vibe. Because of the vibe.
Because of the vibe.
Yeah.
Rock and roll back in the day, even when they were still the music. You know, Lord Richard invented it, but
even when these motherfuckers jumped off the ships from Europe into Africa and we out there playing the drums, they was out there bopping they motherfucking head and dancing around.
Because it's the
stinking ass
vibe.
Dogs.
And not only that,
stop.
Music.
They smell like when they get wet. Stinking ass goldfish.
We're not doing this.
That's what they smell like when they get wet. I don't give a fuck.
Music allows you to.
They stink. Don't they stink, y'all?
They do.
No. When they get wet.
Music allows you to get
like a fucking goldfish
into someone's life, yo.
But do they stink?
Yo, you know they do.
Music is a universal language.
I tell them all the time, like, don't go out in the rain, yo, and come around me.
And when I take
stink, yo,
hip hop, right?
They stink.
Before the movie even came out, right? I took fucking Fred Hampton, and I always slumped him with NWA. Always before this movie even came out, and this is why. The reason why they really wanted Fred Hampton gone wasn't because he was fighting against them. He could have still been living today, or possibly died in a shootout later, right? They wouldn't have wanted to.
He was ready to die.
No, but they didn't want. They wasn't ready to kill him. Yo, you know how many times he really went to jail and made it home?
Nah, I don't.
A lot. Some of his cohorts only went to jail one time and never made it out of jail and was safe. They was good. You know what I mean? The reason why I say this is because, he was more dangerous to them alive, right? Because more people was getting attached and on. But the Rainbow Coalition that everybody think is fucking Jesse Jackson shit is actually Fred Hampton shit. Yo, he really...
Learn something new every day.
When you bring in black gangs, bro, black organizations...
And he brought in Spanish.
Spanish. Then when you can go into the Confederate and bring them in, and now they wearing the fucking turbans, and they still live for their Confederate, but we're all against one thing because you oppress us too. You cops, you know what I mean, or you the government, we're against you. When you bring all those things together,
Right.
you're no longer just
Black
Panthers, bro. You're a threat. You're Martin Luther King. You're Malcolm X. But the thing that Martin Luther King and Fred Hampton had together was he was able to move another color who not supposed to like him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? When you look at NWA pushed that bar. And next thing you know, when you have a crowd of white Americans screaming, "Fuck the police,"
That's epic.
That's the same thing as the Rainbow Coalition. The shit was so epic that you had people starting to call him white people calling him a chairman. White people coming into the hood
at 21 though.
Yo,
at 21.
But you got white people coming into a location where at one point in time they were scared to drive down. Mm-hmm. You had black people going into a place where if they went there any other time they got beat, hung, all that other shit, right? That were now going there and setting up with them, having meetings. You had gangs and big old black organizations now coming together and not trying to kill each other. Yo, I gotta kill you, bro.
Yeah, because you messing with the way of life.
But the way of life is now you're taking away from my culture. They don't have a culture. They stole everything. So what? Am I right?
I'm disagreeing.
Nobody's disagreeing with you, as you can see. Nobody's arguing because we all in agreement, so we all know.
Yo, they stole everything.
I'm just thinking about some other shit while you talk.
They stole everything. Mm-hmm. So with them stealing everything, that's why they don't have a White History Month. That's why they don't have like they only have a day for Columbus. You know what I mean? He don't have a celebratory because they know that they didn't really build shit
at all.
And NWA built some shit that brought on some shit, right?
They're just colonizers.
So at the end of the day, they had to kill him, and they were on the verge of killing NWA until things happened.
So let me ask y'all this. Because I'm gonna jump into this last segment, right? And we're gonna make we're gonna make it real quick. We're gonna make it real quick. Like I told him how to read. Don't worry. Don't worry about that. I told yo how to read. But look, we're gonna get into the last segment.
I was on a Spanish boat too.
The last segment of this, right? Let's reverse it.
I was on the Chiquita boat.
Let's take the leaders from that era and put them in this one. Would they be as impactful?
Them niggas gonna be stressed the fuck out.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas don't listen. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Facts.
So, would they be as impactful? Would they be as strong as they was then? Or would they just be somebody that we looking online trying to give us truth?
Nope, because they win. Because, again, they win biblical standpoint. Jim Crow control using the Bible. He only used, it didn't make the Bible bad. It's that the tactics that he used in there of control worked. They do it today. How do they get you to not be on the same accord? They give you the pride of life. If they give you everything that you like and things that can distract you, you ain't worrying about the bigger cause.
On God.
And that, no, they would not be. No, yo, they would quit.
Quit what?
They would quit being activists. They were just like, yo, I'm done with this shit. For the simple fact, our people always fucking pulling up some bullshit that I gotta go out here and fight for. Like
because we're not in order. Like I said, and then the problem is that the ones that's fucking up the image of us are not being called out and they not being put on the burn. Like I said before, people justify bullshit. Like I told you back when Obama won, I'll never forget it. You know, I was up in Melbourne. The shit came out.
I beat somebody up that night.
Listen.
Didn't it? Remember?
2008.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because he said he was like, I said, yo, he said one thing, I got to slap him because he was so mad. I had my Obama hat on, and I'm a man of my word. So he said one more thing, and I had to steal off on him.
I mean,
sorry, I don't care.
But
that's just what happened. That's a fun fact.
Night, it was a happy night. But the one part that
Sure was.
irritated me, and I understand that everybody got, they black that was happy that it happened. But when I was coming down Greenmount, niggas, everybody celebrating. Niggas up there like this. Yeah, Obama, man. Yeah, black.
Can I get a little loose
No,
change?
they still hustling rocks, the black people. Like, they was cheering about black people, but then they turn around and they was telling their jokes.
Hey, good luck getting high, man. Go ahead. Have a good night.
That's what I said.
Get high for the night, boy.
But that's what I said.
I'm gonna give you an extra rock on
that
me.
shit like that.
Oh no.
In order for us to move forward, and that's just the example, is the shit that need to get called out and having a motherfucker draw the line on is you gonna be black all the way or get the fuck out. And that means like helping us build back what the fuck was taken from us.
Facts.
That's just my
Andy, yell at him real quick before we get up out of here. I want to know, would they have been, like the same person, or would the things just been different for him?
It'd be so hard to get to these motherfuckers nowadays. Mm-hmm. It would. You can't talk to a motherfucker that stay high.
It ain't
You all up in the cloud.
True.
I mean, you can talk to a hood. You can talk to a thug. You can actually say, hey, listen, man, I'm going to just leave you with this information right here. Now, whatever you want to do with it, you can do with it. But even a person that understands and have concepts and understands what's going on, open up a book and say, son, there's a lot of truth in this.
It depends on what they high on. No,
No,
because
they high, period.
I'm just saying.
This is a high culture.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that even I talk to people high.
How many people just smoke weed?
Listen, but just stick with me here.
It's
Stick to me here.
It's different.
The truth always lies in the person. And most of the time, you want to get the truth, catch a motherfucker when he drunk or when he high. You gonna get, because there's nothing, their minds distorted, ain't nothing gonna try to make them change some shit because they feel open and free. Yeah, you're gonna have to run into a lot of knuckleheads when they high to give you the wrong answer, but you'll get the most truth out of a person, in my opinion, if a person high. But it's something way bigger than that.
They say a
It's
drunk
these
stomach speaks
Yeah.
a sober mind.
Exactly. And my thing is it's the people that's sober, the ones that's fucked up. It's the sober motherfuckers.
Bozos.
Because I call it, I always tell certain people, I say you got and I don't mean it in a bad way for white people like us, and I tell them I tell black people, you got a European mind. You develop their mindset and their culture. That's why you think certain things are okay. And it's really not okay. And I tell them that I've been there before, because once you come out of poverty and you start doing good for yourself, you start your life going better, but you start to forget how you fucking started off and how your family and y'all actually really fucking got there. And the problem is that when you start growing and you start doing better for yourself and you're not in that environment anymore, you have to catch yourself sometimes, because you start to forget. You start saying shit that you used to hear them say when they used to dominate, period. And that's why, it's for me, through my life, I had to catch myself sometimes and had to remember, that used to be me. That used to be me. I can't lose myself, because once you start losing yourself, you start losing the truth. And that's the part that you never want to lose.
I don't see too many sober motherfuckers no more, so I think I'd be.
This is a high culture. But truth be told, man,
don't see nobody sober.
truth be told, because I'm gonna close it out like this, because I will let everybody
I
just
didn't know
say
that shit exists.
what they find.
Let me just say they're zombies. There's a difference between
We definitely in The Walking Dead.
These motherfuckers are zombies.
Because you need the young to actually move a revolution. And if the
I
young,
agree.
And if the young on
Absolutely.
Buttes, Perks, Tramadol,
Oxys, Xans.
Oxyxannies, well,
I'm gonna tell you like this, right?
it's just us.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Like, look, I'm gonna close this thing out like that. I'm not gonna get nobody's final thoughts, because everybody laid it on the table today. This was a great show, great topic. Everybody that's listening, that's looking, like, if you got any comments about this show, like you got any feelings, just hit us up on Unified Radio on all major social media platforms, on unifiedradio.tv, the website. We'd love to hear from y'all, man. I'm telling you, like, we want to be able to interact with y'all, get y'all feelings on a lot of these topics, a lot of these shows, because a lot of people that watch us and view us, they hit us up individually in our inboxes. We do get feedback, so we want to hear back from everybody. And this has been another edition of Imperfect Sense. I'm Eric. That's Conway. That's Flesh. Andy's in the back, and we see y'all the same time, same Unified channel next week. Peace.
Yeah.
on Zombie Apocalypse.